Before we get to the tsunami of SpaceX news, which at some point in time will eventually become Tesla news, presuming the two companies become one, which I think is about a 99.6942% probability, just wanted to make sure that nobody gets caught up in shiny object syndrome and forgets to notice what's happening with Tesla Autonomy. We're over on robotaxitracker.com looking at Tesla's fully autonomous robotaxi fleet in 3 US cities over time: Austin, Dallas, and Houston. The absolute numbers are still small, but the trend is big. Let me throw out a quick prediction. The SpaceX IPO and the ensuing aftermath is going to cause almost everybody to completely forget, at least temporarily, that Tesla even exists, to stop paying any attention whatsoever to their robotaxi rollout, their progress, the humanoid robot, possibly even the publicly disclosed collaboration between SpaceX, XAI, and Tesla, the Terafab project. It is hard not to be pumped for the SpaceX IPO, but don't forget what's happening with Tesla. We've got a ton of news, a lot of developments. It just keeps coming and coming on the SpaceX IPO. S1 filing, less than 24 hours from now. Cover that tomorrow. Lots of news today as well, and some rumors. First, here's a clip from CNBS.
He has invested 14 times in SpaceX since 2017. It's good to see you, Chad.
Good to be here.
So, as we kind of described there, this company has a lot of investors. There's a lot of proxies for it. We've gotten some numbers come out in terms of its fundamental performance. What are you most eager to see in the S1?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, it's happening. It's happening faster than expected, and it's really exciting. So the next few weeks are going to be really interesting, particularly with the roadshow and the non-traditional roadshow, to see. I mean, the banks are going to go out and show some slide decks, but they're also going to invite a lot of folks to come and see what they're building firsthand, which I think is incredibly important, because you can't really get your head around the scale and ambition of what they're doing unless you see it in person.
I'm sure that's true in terms of kind of being awed by the scale of things and all they're maybe going to be capable of. But it would seem also important because nothing in the actual reported numbers would get you to $1.75 trillion or whatever the initial valuation is supposed to be, certainly double what the last private valuation was, right? So you have to have this big thing. So what do you think that story is going to sound like?
Yeah, 1.75, and people push, reports are pushing that to maybe 2 trillion. Yeah. We'll see where it lands. But yeah, I mean, I think, investors and allocators are pricing in 2040 economics here.
Yeah.
They are.
He has a point, which is rather extraordinary, and I mean that in the literal sense, extraordinary, highly unusual. What I mean is that investors are looking out more than a decade into the future, modeling out to 2040 and beyond, which, by the way, is what anyone with a brain would probably do if they're investing. But unfortunately, most investors can't see much further into the future than tomorrow, maybe next quarter, or if you're really lucky, possibly next year. A few months ago, I covered some analysis in which they modeled out to 2040, and I was almost speechless, shocked at the fact that they'd modeled out that far. Not because it's a bad idea, but it's just so unusual to see. So here's my highly controversial theory. The further into the future that investors are modeling SpaceX, regardless of the assumptions they use, the longer the time frame, the more they're going to be willing to pay for SpaceX today. And if their model extends far enough to include a mass driver on the moon, all bets are off.
This is not, you're not looking at this business as a launch business. You're looking at it as their launch business is a competitive advantage that gives them access to orbit for Starlink broadband, for direct to cell capability and going after the telco market and orbital AI data centers, right? And so Starship is key to all of this. And so this next generation vehicle is what enables all of these future businesses. None of those businesses, other than the broadband, has actually printed any revenue yet, right? So what the narrative here is forward looking, right? I mean, if you don't price this business with a DCF model and a discount rate, right? You price this with options.
Yeah, I mean, I would look.
That is incredibly well said. Many suit-wearing money managers have left the chat. I'm just going to repeat what he said. You don't model this out using a DCF, as in discounted cash flow valuation, which is typically the law when it comes to investing. If you break that law, you get sentenced to life in prison. Instead, you value this, you model this as a number of options on the future. This is so well said. He's absolutely right. This is the same kind of way I think about Tesla. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, Tesla solving autonomy, deploying completely autonomous robotaxis, which, as I mentioned at the start of this video, they're currently doing now in 3 US cities and growing. This wasn't guaranteed, which meant that the typical DCF suit-wearing traditional finance guys, fearful of being thrown in prison for life, didn't even consider what if they do it? What would that look like? Ignore. Whereas many other Tesla investors were looking at the probability. What's the probability they solve this? What's the worst case likelihood, the best case, somewhere in between? What would that look like in terms of the financials, the rate of growth, blah, 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 and modeled accordingly. The same could now be said for Tesla's Optimus humanoid robot, not yet being sold commercially, making great progress. What's the probability that eventually they solve this, they deploy it, they have a commercial success, they scale to 100,000, a million units per year, 10 million, 100 million, what about a billion per year? What would that look like? What's the probability? Back to SpaceX. What's the probability that they successfully launch 10,000, 100,000 data centers into space? What about a million, which is their longer term goal? What's the probability of the moon base, the mass driver? What would that look like? What's that worth? What's remarkable to the earlier point is that many investors are actually thinking about SpaceX in terms of these options, as opposed to, oh, it's not happening yet, therefore it's illegal to even consider what it might look like. Ignore. Remarkable stuff. And again, very well said. You really want to be thinking about SpaceX, and Tesla for that matter, in terms of options on the future, including successful execution of the publicly disclosed Terafab project, the collaboration between Tesla and SpaceX AI on orbital data centers. As promised, loads of SpaceX news to get to. Quick heads up, by the way, to my Patreon supporters. If you haven't seen it already, posted a roughly 18-minute long video on the SpaceX IPO, my complete plan and thoughts. If you're a Patreon member, you'll know where to find it. Latest video. If you'd like to join, check it out. Join Patreon with the link in the pinned comment. If you start getting a little bit lost here, don't worry, I'll tie it all together. This post from Cursor AI, introducing Composer 2.5, our most powerful model yet. It's more intelligent, better at sustained work on long-running tasks, and more reliable at following complex instructions. For next week, we're doubling the included usage of the model. The early feedback on Composer 2.5 is incredibly positive. People absolutely nutting. That's a technical term for very pleased with the product. The next post in this thread, Cursor writes, Composer 2.5 is exceptionally intelligent and up to 10 times more efficient than similarly capable models. That right there, folks, the efficiency gain and order of magnitude is the mic drop moment. The next post, and I promise this will make sense in a moment if you're like, what the fuck's this got to do with anything? We improved Composer by scaling training, generating more complex RL environments, and introducing new learning methods. Scaling training, they say. The final post in the thread. Together with SpaceX AI, we're training a significantly larger model from scratch using 10 times more total compute. With Colossus 2's million H100 equivalents and our combined data and training techniques, we expect this to be a major leap in model capability. A leap, to be clear, far in excess of the existing massive improvement in terms of efficiency and capability. In case you guys haven't been following along too closely, probably not even a month ago, some public posts from SpaceX and Cursor about the possibility of SpaceX acquiring Cursor later this year, or alternatively, throwing $10 billion their way for some form of collaboration. Now, make sure you're sitting down for this part and stick with me. I promise it'll be worth it. So, give or take a couple of months ago at most, it's announced that Cursor, this very company, was in some way collaborating with SpaceX AI and had gained access to Colossus 1. Not Colossus 2. This is important. Colossus 1, SpaceX AI's previous AI training supercluster. Then, weeks later, maybe a month later, May 6th, XAI announces this new compute partnership with not Cursor AI, but Anthropic. SpaceX AI has signed an agreement with Anthropic to provide access to Colossus 1. But this announcement wasn't just for access to Colossus 1, but exclusive access to Colossus 1. Now, if you're following along, you might be going, hang on a minute, wait a sec. Exclusive means just you. So if earlier this month, SpaceX announces that Anthropic has secured exclusive access to Colossus 1, yet, like a month earlier, it had been announced that Cursor AI, completely unrelated to Anthropic, had negotiated access to Colossus 1, how the fuck is this going to work? Now, I have a very important rule, a few of them actually. Never leak nudes, never leak DMs, never leak private likes, and never leak private posts or content. But in this particular case, I'm leaking my own private subscriber-only content. If you're not following me on X and subscribed as well, I mean, you're missing out. I posted this little tidbit May 8th to my subscribers on X. Not publicly. I'm not going to say this publicly. Turns out I am a few weeks later. If Cursor previously had access to Colossus 1, and today it is announced Anthropic has exclusive access to Colossus 1, This may be because SpaceX AI has agreed to acquire Cursor immediately after IPO, after which no compute access agreement between Cursor and SpaceX AI is needed. And then yesterday, after seeing the post we've just covered from Cursor, the training for the significantly larger model, 10 times more total compute, the same guy with 3 first names posted this. Has a company ever IPO'd and immediately closed an acquisition the same day, asking for a friend? And I think that friend was me, and I think what he was wondering is it pretty much a done deal that SpaceX is going to IPO, raise a fuck ton, and then essentially immediately acquire Cursor AI? Because, I mean, how else is all this going to work? But wait, there's more. NVIDIA joining the conversation, almost certainly providing the compute for this new collaboration, posting new model loading with the bicep flex emoji, and we're still not done. NVIDIA AI Infrastructure's account excited for our partner SpaceX to try out the NVIDIA Vera CPU. This is just the beginning, blah, blah, blah. Nice little photo. But we are still not done. Elon Musk reposts this. Very nice, very nice. And we're still not done. Elon Musk reposting this. Composer 2.5, that's the Cursor AI product we've just heard about with a massive increase in efficiency. Reposting their promo with try Composer 2.5 on Cursor. That's a nice bit of promo from Musk. P.S. We are still not done. Earlier today, this from Bloomberg. Now, keep in mind, people close to the matter, alleged sources, blah, fucking blah, blah, blah. Take it with a Mount Everest-sized grain of salt. But, quote, SpaceX expects to proceed with its acquisition of artificial intelligence coding startup Cursor 30 days after Elon Musk's company begins trading publicly, according to sources. Now, obviously, this is unconfirmed, but I would also just like to say, imagine my shock. I mean, seriously, a day before that, I'm posting this, and earlier in May, the subscriber-only post, theorising that perhaps SpaceX has agreed to acquire Cursor AI straight after the IPO, which would mean there was no compute access agreement needed. So, obviously, this is not guaranteed. But given the breadcrumbs, it's certainly worth considering the option in your SpaceX AI model of a Cursor acquisition post-IPO. I have a lot more thoughts on the SpaceX IPO, how it all ties in, including to Tesla. As I said, I recently posted an exclusive Patreon video, almost 20 minutes long. Want to hear my full thoughts and my plan for the IPO? Join Patreon with the link in the pinned comment, or just head to patreon.com/solvingthemoneyproblem. Stay tuned tomorrow, the S1 is going to be massive. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 has been part of my daily health protocol for almost half a decade. It's packed full of vitamins and minerals and helps me fill in nutritional gaps while supporting energy, digestion, and immune function. It also has prebiotics and probiotics to promote gut health. I take my health very seriously, and so should you. Try AG1 today by visiting drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link in the pinned comment and enjoy a free welcome kit with vitamin D3 plus K2 and AG1 travel packs. That's drinkag1.com/SMR.